friends, welcome to my tarot, Sudipta's tarot once more. Today I've come up with a simple but yet hopefully effective, interesting reading. It will be a yes or no reading. So I have been getting this request for some time, so I decided I should do this reading. I think I've done once before also, but let's see what turns up this time. Hopefully this will satisfy your requirement. So if you're looking for a simple yes or no answer to your problem, or whether you should be how you should tackle something in the future, and you're not sure, hopefully this reading will solve this problem. So I have two piles in front of me. As you can see, it's going to be just a two-pile reading, yes or no. I don't know which one of this is yes. I don't know which one of this is no, right? But there is two cards over here that will say yes. One will say yes, one will say no, right? And I don't know which one is what. And I swear to God, I have just done a blind reading. Everything is blind. I don't know which one is yes, which one is no. So there will be one card that will show yes. There will be one card that will show no, right? But there will be some other cards associated with each of those yes or no card that's going to explain the situation. So if it's a yes, why it is a yes. If it's a no, why it is a no, right? So hopefully, and again, I have not put this time any crystal also, because I want this reading to be totally intuitive and not be biased by your choice of crystal or your choice of any particular color or anything like that, right? I want you to really use your intuition, use your gut feeling to see which of this pile, both look exactly the same, which of this pile you are more drawn to for one reason or the other. And that will be your pile, and it will turn up, whether it's yes or no, we'll find out together, right? So hopefully this reading helps you. So without wasting any further time, we are going to jump right into the reading. Hey friends, so those of you who chose that first group, this will be your group. Let's find out whether it's yes or no, okay? I have the spread over here, so now I know what that first group was. Was it a yes or no? I'm going to reveal that to you. So this is your yes or no card, okay? And then this explains why is it such. Why is it if it's a yes, why is it a yes? If it's a no, why is it a no, right? So, so this group, the answer has come out, to be no, okay? So whatever you are thinking of doing, whatever at stage of life you are finding yourself in, the question, whatever question you have in your mind, the answer to that is no. And clearly, the very reading starts with this card, right? And again, just to re-emphasize, some people may think that I choose some of the cards intentionally to fit a particular scenario. That's why a lot of people, they may distrust the whole process. But I swear on God, none of these cards were chosen by me intentionally. These are all random, drawn blindly, based on pure intuition and divine guidance. Okay, but see what's interesting is this is a no, right? So if you're expecting a yes, of course, you may have some, you may be frustrated, you may be feeling a little dejected as to why is it a no, right? That's why the very reading starts, with this card, with an assurance to you from the universe that just because it's a no doesn't mean it's the end of it. The situation will improve, right? So it's clearly telling you at the very outset, don't be frustrated. Don't give up. Don't be dejected. Though it's a no right now, right? But the situation will improve. And if you look at the no card itself, and this has been re-emphasized further on, there's a lot of good things waiting for you. I don't know if you can make it out over here. It looks like these are angels, who are ascending, who are on the ascension. And you are in the midway, you are somewhere in the middle, right? So the journey has not completed for you. Your destiny is over here, much more golden, much more bright, much more prosperous, but you have not reached there. That's why it's saying no, because the situation is not yet right, right? Whatever you are thinking of doing or whatever situation you are finding yourself in, and if you are thinking of taking the next step, it's telling you no. That's because the situation will improve. So that means either it is not ripe yet for you to take a particular action or walk on a particular path. You may need to do some, do some little bit more work. You may need to do some further homework. You may need to, be a little bit patient, right? And keep doing the work. And then what's interesting over here is if you look at all these cards over here, right? These three cards, right? This is the 10 of Cups. Obviously, again, 10 of Cups by itself, shows something positive because it's a card of happiness. It's a card of fulfillment. It's a card of prosperity, right? So situation will improve. It's giving you an assurance. And then the very next card is the 10 of Cups, which is further re-emphasizing that feeling, that, that notion that, yes, it may be a temporary no for now, but that doesn't mean that's the end of road. In fact, as I said over here, it's just because, you are on that path and, but your destination is beautiful. And this is further, but what I was saying before that was, so this is 10 of Cups. This is the Chariot card, right? This is the Lover's card. Now, I don't know if you're finding a pattern over here. If you look, this talks about this couple, pair, a pair of horses, right? And then there's these two, a pair of crane, or I think flamingos, right? So 2, 2, 2. That means something to do with the heart, something to do with a couple, something to do with the relationship, maybe something to do with marriage, right? So I think a lot of you who have chosen, this particular group, and you're finding this no, the answer simply over here, it may be something that, you people are in some sort of a relationship. Maybe some of you are thinking of, you are attracted to someone and you're, thinking of taking the next step, maybe, marriage, proposing for marriage, or for some of you, who, you may be thinking of marriage, even though if you are not, you may not be in a relationship, you may be thinking of marriage, right? Some of you, maybe, you are thinking of, you may have some feelings for someone and you're thinking of letting it out, right? Or in some cases, you may have faced some temporary rejection from someone related to relationship, but the spirit is assuring you that's not the end of it. You're going to find someone else walking into your life. So for a lot of you, it could be something to do with relationship in one form or the other, right? Something to do with the matter of heart, something to do with dealings with another person, right? It's a couple, right? And it's telling you that the situation may not be right. As I said before, maybe if you're thinking about proposing, if you're thinking about, a marriage, if you're thinking about, whether to let that person know of your feelings, if you, or if you have faced some temporary rejection from that, right? No, right? So don't take that next step, right? At least right now, be a little patient. And for the others, where it may not be necessary to do with the, to matters of love or relationship, though again, the lovers coming out, and again, there's couples coming out, it's a very strong indication. But whatever it is, another message that's coming out pretty strongly is if you look at this card, Instinct over here, right? Instinct and then the Winter's Dream. And then again, it says over here, the situation will improve, right? Instinct says, if you look at this, this is a white wolf who's clearly on ascending, right? Making that climb. Remember what I said at the very beginning over here also, you are ascending, right? They say angels are ascending. Right? They haven't reached the destination yet. It shows over here again, you are ascending. So you have not reached that level, you're not reached your destination yet. But that doesn't mean you are down and out. On the contrary, this wolf, when he's taking that, climbing, and is making that ascent, there is no looking down. There is no looking behind. That's another thing. If you have faced any rejection on your path, if you have faced some temporary setbacks in the matters of love or whatever it is, this is not the time to give up and look back. Move on. Move on because the situation will improve, right? Move on. Right? And trust your instinct, right? Trust your instinct because sometimes we feel dejected. Sometimes we are not sure what we should do, whether we should give up or not. But it's the message over here is clearly trust your instinct, and and don't look below, don't look behind. Right, when you're making the climb, sometimes when the climb is steep, if when you look below, you may feel scared. You may feel like dizzy. Right, that's why mountaineers or rock climbers, they have to have that very strong heart, deep confidence in their abilities. Right, and never to look behind, never to look below. Right, and always trust your intuition, because remember, the moment you look behind and you think and you indulge in unnecessary thinking, negativities, that saps your energy, right? That hinders the onward progress, right? And so that's why also, and if you see, that's why there's a guide over here. See this over here, which is like your spirit guide is watching over you. So as long as you trust yourself, your abilities, you have your intuition. Trust that the universe is helping you. Universe is watching over you, right? So, and then in the same vein over here, winter's dream. It's clearly saying gestation period. What is gestation? Gestation is when the baby is when a mother carries a fetus in her womb for 9 months, right? So the baby is getting nourished over there, is growing in the mother's womb. That's the gestation period, right? So something is developing. So right now, it may look like a winter to you, where things may appear morose and down and and stagnant, and things are not moving, and you're really hoping to make that leap. See, this person over here is sitting on the top of the chariot and is about to make the leap, right? So you're about to make that leap. So something is, I get the saying that something is boiling. You have done the work. You need to put on a little bit more work. You're definitely on the path, on the path of ascension. It could be career. It could be matters of, again, relationship, where you're putting in the works. You're making progress, but you are just not there yet. It's still not mature enough for you to take the next step. Right? So think through, but definitely you're putting on work. And then again, winter's dream, gestation, that something is in the works, something is brewing, something is boiling, right? But again, what follows winter? Spring. That's when the leaves come out. That's when everything blossoms. That's when the universe, the world presents itself in its fullest glory. The nature presents itself in its fullest glory, beauty, color, everything. So right now it's winter for you, but the spring is coming, right? So this is definitely not the time for you to give up. Then again, you have the infinite card over here, right? Again, it's talking about, what I said over here, the bright possibilities ahead, right? And there's, again, this wolf, when he completes the climb, when he reaches top, there's a lot of victory, promise of victory ahead. Over here also, if you see, the infinite possibilities are waiting ahead, right? Infinite possibilities. But you have to trust your intuition, you have to trust the process, you have to trust your gut and keep going. And then finally, you have this card over here, the negotiation, right? And this card has come out reversed. So again, negotiation means, the art of dealing with others, right? Maybe this is one of the things that you need to really pay some attention to, right? Because what happens is sometimes, you may be a person who has some strong concern for justice, or moral principles, and and what's happening over here is maybe in matters of career, or again in matters of relationship. Sometimes when you are trying to please others too much, right? It can sometimes rub others the wrong way, right? And so you have to develop that art of negotiation, or that art of dealing with others, and how much is too much, right? Maintain some boundaries, right? And so in order to please others, don't overpromise, don't overdeliver, right? And also this indicates strong, negotiation is important for again a very strong relationship, enduring marriage. So again, this card coming out reversed, that means there's something is happening with regard to your communication, or how you are expressing maybe, your emotion to your better half, or, to your other partner, right? That could be also a key. Because sometimes, we feel, we may nourish a lot of love, we may have a lot of love for the other person, right? But the other person may not be realizing that, may not be sensing that, because you may not be too expressive, right? So think about that also, right? And keep that in mind, so that you can, maybe your taking the next step is depending on how you communicate, how effectively you communicate, how effectively you express your feelings, right? And so that could be another thing over here, right? And so I think overall, again, the message over here is, for those people who have chosen this group, yes, it's a no, and it simply means the situation is not ripe yet, but definitely there's a strong promise of situation improving, and it bringing in lot more happiness, prosperity, the infinite card, and over here, as I said, this you can clearly see the no card itself. There are a lot of golden, it's like door to heaven, and you're in the middle. You're in the middle, right? Again, you're about to make that jump, but you haven't made that leap yet, right? And when you make that leap, trust your intuition, right? Go climb, stop, don't stop climbing, right? And again, this fourth chakra has come up. I didn't go over this card before. Fourth chakra is your heart chakra. And again, if you remember what I said about this negotiation, right? So this fourth chakra also means, what happened? A balanced heart will lead to unconditional love, compassion, joy, gratitude. Whereas an out of balance, heart chakra will lead to jealousy, anger, bitterness, fear, rejection. So maybe when you take these two cards together, maybe then how you are communicating with your other partner, how you are hiding certain emotions, right? Maybe something in your relationship is happening that is leading to a lot of discontentment, either in you or in your partner or in both. Maybe it's a lot of anger, a lot of, ego issues are maybe coming in, and, there's maybe a lot of false understanding of each other, right? So keep an eye on that also. Again, improve the art of negotiation. Be open with your partner. Express your feelings. Be sincere, right? Be balanced. And that's going to lead to that unconditional love, compassion, better understanding of each other, and that can also help take this forward, right? That can make that may be one of the key to improving the situation in the future and completing your ascent, right? Again, for in other matters, like maybe matters of career, matters of any other issues, are also, right? Again, everywhere the fourth chakra or a balanced heart is important, because unless you are balanced inside, you are going to take decisions in an impulse, out of bitterness, out of anger, which is never good, right? So if you improve that, you have try to maintain balance inside you, think through everything. Again, trust your intuition, trust the divine guidance. Then you will be able to better make that climb, and infinite possibilities are waiting for you. So hope this makes sense, for this particular group, and hope this helps you in a meaningful way. And I'm so glad to do this reading for you all. Thank you so much. Okay, so for those of you who chose a second group, we'll find out whether it's a yes or no for you. And either way, I'm sure it's going to be it's going to come out with some positive message for you, right? So because both yes and no can turn out to be, can be taken either way, depending on what exactly is the message that comes out for you and what situation you're finding yourself in right now, right? So I've already completed the reading for the first group, so I already know what the second group is about, whether it will be a yes or no. So let's just jump right into it. So in this group, the answer for you is, it's a yes, right? Which is good. Now, as I said for the other group, this reading was done, swear on God, it's totally blind. So all the cards were drawn, blindly, pure inner guidance, and intuition, right? I didn't know uh, till I ended up doing the reading for the fast group, either which group is yes, which group is no, right? Not only that, for both the group, the very fast card that comes out, other than obviously the yes card or the no card, right? It kind of, in a way, re-emphasizes or consolidates or further affirms the message for the entire reading. I have seen the similar thing for the no group. Now for the yes group also, it's a yes. And if you see the very fast card, it says there's something better. Now what does that mean, right? Now when I look at this yes card itself, it shows you're balancing two things. You're balancing the sun and the moon. This is the moon, this is the sun. That means, you are very good in balancing both the feminine and the masculine qualities. You have very good in, moon stands for, the mind, right? And the sun stands for the soul, right? So you are someone who's very good in balancing the feminine and the masculine. You have, you are perfectly balanced on the inside, with poise, balanced mind, and at the same time, you have a perfectly balanced intellect, right? So this is very good, right? And so that means, you are a perfectly good balanced person, which is very critical for any kind of, role, especially leadership roles or any other role, any parenting, good friend, everywhere. A perfectly balanced person will be highly sought after because you can see things clearly. There is no bias or there is no inner, judgment or anything like that. Whatever you do is based on clarity, right? Now, very interesting that your readings, again, as I said before, it starts with there's something better. What does that mean? That means, it's telling me that, though it's a yes, but you still haven't fully reached there, right? Otherwise, why would it say there's something better? If you've already reached, to the best position, then there cannot be anything better than that, right? But it says there's something better. Now, this can be taken in two ways. One is, you have reached there, but you have not still fully manifested your potential. Your full potential has not been manifested. So wherever you are, obviously you are in a good position, probably, because, you are balanced, right? But you need to move on, right? You need to just, don't stop there. Don't let your journey end there because you have much more potential, right? As I said, so move on. There's something better waiting for you. And why I say that is because not only this balance, or your potential comes out very clearly and strongly, even if you look at these four cards. The star has come out twice, the star and then the star seer. The queen has come out twice, the queen of wands and the queen of swords. So if I look at both these stars, the star 2 times, the queen 2 times. Very, very strong and clear message, right? Or affirmation. What does the queen stand for? An ideal queen is someone who's very honest, who's very upright, who's very fair, right? Who's very balanced. So again, balanced over here. So you are that kind of a person who's very fair, upright, balanced, honest, strong, courageous, right? Sorry. You are that kind of a person. And again, very ideal leadership material. Good friend, good guardian, good leader in any walk of life, right? Similarly with the star, right? Star means, someone, and again, someone, who's very, who has a lot of, who can see through, who can, who has that divine, that intuition, right? A lot of inner inspiration, hope, and who are kind of also divinely guided, right? Again, star, has carries a lot of secret meaning, right? Divine power, celestial harmony, so, and it's clearly saying you are a star seer, right? So you are someone who carries a lot of inner inspiration, drive, who can see through properly. And again, that's coming because, you are balanced. For example, muddy water, In muddy water, you cannot see anything clearly. But if you let that water settle down, or all the dust in that water settle down, all the dirt in the water settle down, right? Then when the water has become calm, all the dirt, everything has settled down, then you can start seeing clearly in the water, right? Similarly, with ourselves, if we are continuously thinking or agitated in a state of anxiety, anger, or any other frustration, any other negativities, right? Or excited, right? Then we are not in a state of balance and we cannot take any decision properly. So in your case, but one who is calm, who's fair, who's upright, who's balanced, who can, and again, who has that sense of intuition working for them, right? They can take the decisions properly. So that is coming out to be very strong in your rating. Again, based on this card, based on all these 4 cards, based on the star coming out twice, based on this Queen of Swords coming out, and of the Queen card coming out twice, right? And that message is being repeated again and again throughout your reading. You also have this Victory card, right? And in this Victory card, of course, it talks about you have attained victory or you're going to reach victory. So again, remember what I said at the very beginning. You're either reached a position already, right? But the path doesn't end there. So you've already reached a victorious position, or you're going to soon reach that victorious position, but then the path doesn't end there. So the Victory card can mean you've already attained victory, at least in some form or level. And it can also mean this further onward promise of greater victory, right? Now, it also means, interestingly, a victory over yourself, which is much more important. Obviously, victory in terms of material accomplishment, in terms of so-called name, fame, glory, whatever you're trying to achieve outside in the outer world, that is also good. But what's more important is an inner victory, right? It's for some reason when I look at this card, and I'm going to talk about these 2 cards also, right? It looks like you have reached a position of inner attainment, inner calmness, inner balance after a lot of struggle. An inner victory, which is much more important than that victory in the outside world. Because inner victory will lead to victory in the outside world again, right? Because if you see over here, this lady has these snakes wrapped around her head. And the snakes in ancient wisdom talks about, again, knowledge. In a way, that if you see Lord Shiva has snakes wrapped around his neck, right? That means, and the snakes also symbolizes, in a way, mind, right? And so one who has control over the mind, right? That's what, that's the symbology of Lord Shiva, it represents, right? So in your case also, you have again, got control over your mind, your wisdom, your wise, right? So that's another thing. And then why is that important, right? How have you attained that balance? That has come through a lot of struggle. Because if you look at these 2 cards, this one talks about rejection. This one talks about root gall, the disowned self. Means, you have gone through some period of rejection where people have rejected you for what you are. People have not been able to accept you or accept what you stand for, right? You are not able to, you have probably often found yourself in a position where you are not fitting, where you are not gelling with other people, right? And maybe because of the way you think, right? Maybe you're very upright. Oftentimes it happens, when you are upright and you are not part of the system, you want to do something different. The system will disown you. System will not recognize you. Will refuse to recognize you. Will refuse to honor you. Similarly, over here, the root gall. Someone who found herself in a position where she feels like there is no safe place for her anymore. Like she has been shunned by the rest of the world. She is unwanted, right? That's why, she kind of cringes and she tries to hide herself in a safe burrowing place, in a cave or something like that. That's why it says root gall. and you try to disown a portion of you. There's a, and when people reject you, and you feel like you lose that sense of belonging, and you are repeatedly shunned, and you feel that it's shelf of, you develop that that sense of shame, and you want to disown a part of you, right? That's why it says the disowned self. So you have probably gone through that period, where people have not recognized you or your talent, and they have rejected you, right? And so now, after having crossed that, where you had stooped to the, you had really been cornered. You had found yourself really cornered, and you are starting to self-doubt yourself, right? Have a lot of inner grudge and anger, at the world, and more so for targeted to yourself, right? Because of a lot of frustration, and now you have conquered that. You have conquered that, and then you have come to this position now that you have and that's why you have attain this position of balance. Because again, people who go through hardship, people who go through a lot of struggle, people who go through a lot of ups and downs in life, eventually then that is the way they can mature, and they can metamorphose into someone stronger, someone more powerful. And that's what you have now become, and that is what that yes card indicates, right? That's why you have attained the state of balance. And again, you may be still going through some of that, right? That's why you said this card over here said there's something better. So again, as I said, the journey for you has led you to some place good, much better than before maybe, right? While when you're seeing this reading, but it may not be, it's not there. You still have something better waiting for you. So it's in a way, it's an affirmative yes in that sense too. But in another way, if you're still going through that struggle, if you're still going through that phase of rejection in some level, and in some context, then this is again an affirmation that yes, you are going to get there. You are going to get that inner balance. People are going to start recognizing you. Again, you are the queen. You are a queen material. So people look up to queen, right? And someday people will recognize you for who you are, your inner talent, your potential, what you bring to the table, right? Your leadership qualities, right? So you need to deal with that for the time being. That's another way of looking at things, right? And then develop that inner detachment. That's why the detachment card has come over here. Because again, if you let yourself be too affected by other people's opinion, by how the society is treating you, right, negative comments, then you're going to start rejecting a portion of you, start disowning a portion of you, which is never good. Because again, remember, it shows root girl, where you have, this outside society's rejection and disownment has really brought you down, close to the root. But it also means your roots are still intact, and new things are going to sprout. See, this tree shows things sprouting out. So the tree is down, but the tree is definitely not out, right? So that's another thing. So that's why you need to maintain that level of detachment. Don't let yourself be carried away too much by other people's perception of you. You know who you are. You are queen material. You are a star. You are, a lot of intuitive power. You are guided by, inner guidance, right? You have the sense of balance, or you're going to reach that sense of balance. You don't need other people to guide you. You can guide yourself, right? So stay on the track. Stay on the path, right? And yes, again, as I repeat, I probably repeat myself over here. Yes, there's something better for you. Yes, you're going to reach your fullest potential. And if you have already tasted some of it, it doesn't end there. There's something even better waiting for you, right? So I hope, for this particular group who chose this yes card, it really helps answer some of your question. And again, I'm so glad to be doing this reading for you. I'll see you in another reading soon. Thank you.